Hi, everyone. It's Michelle Klippert, and
Michelle Keltz.
here we are at the real estate store, two brokers at the real estate store in Montrose, Colorado, and we're in Real Talk for Real Estate. So the things that Michelle and I were talking about lately is it's winter. It's January.
It's cold.
It's cold. It's cold. And when you show houses in January, we wanted to give some tips to not only buyers and but sellers too, and sellers mostly.
Sellers mostly.
Yeah.
Because it's most of their responsibility on showing the houses in the winter. So,
And, winter is kind of funny because we don't have tons of showings, but we have more serious buyers.
exactly. Because they're not going to go out and look at the properties in the winter when it's cold. So, it's not like we have in the summer when you're just driving around saying, oh, look, let's go look at houses. We don't do that in the winter. We stay
Nobody
inside.
does that in the winter. So we have some ideas, and it just starts with maintaining the house during the winter for your buyers to come see it. One of them is about clearing snow.
Yes, because we don't want anybody slipping on the ice. Make sure that you've cleared that snow prior to the showing. If there's any ice, get rid of it, put salt on it, whatever you need to do, because that's a liability for you.
It's a huge liability. We start thinking about, people are like, that's inherent risk, like getting out of Walmart or something like that when it's snowing, but it's really not. And one of the key differences, Michelle, is people make an appointment.
Yep. They're scheduled it. They're set up to go, and they're coming, so you need to have it ready for them.
You need to have it ready. And if you are not in town, have your agent reach out to people who do that snow removal. Or if you are in town, please do that yourself. It's a big one on our list.
Definitely. And we have plenty of people that do that for a living around here. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of the showings are in the afternoon because it's warmer by that time. And most of the time we don't get that much snow here anyway, so it's usually melted by then. So it's not a huge thing that you would have to hire somebody if you had to hire somebody because you were out of town. If you had to hire somebody, they wouldn't have to come over that often here in the valley.
No, I agree. But some of those things that go into play are like if you have north-facing, like front doors, north-facing driveways
that never see the sun.
We just need to move that as soon as possible to make sure. And I know a lot of people do some different things to mitigate that, like the tape on the roof, the heat tape.
The heat tape on the roof that clears that off, definitely.
And then make sure that if we did have a big storm, and we have every now and then we'll have one, right?
Oh, yeah.
They go away pretty quick, but if you're in the midst of one and you're showing property, you have a lot of snow that you're thinking about.
Yep.
Make sure that off that rooftop as you're entering, that's not falling on people like boosh.
Yep, for sure. And then think about the fact, too, that they're going to be walking in with boots with snow on it. So make sure that you put a nice rug out there, maybe a chair, something to sit on, in order for them to take their boots off, because you don't want them tracking that through your property, through your house, carpet, or whatever. But give them a place where they can sit down and do that. Just makes it easier and keeps your house taken care of while they're in there walking around.
It does make it easier. Even myself, if I have a chair, Michelle, I don't get up like I used to get up.
Me neither.
Sometimes I roll.
I just sit on the floor so I don't fall over and look stupid.
Right. It's all in the look when you're showing houses, people. But if you are away, one of the things that you have to think about is people are going into a house that many times we turn our heat way down. Mm-hmm. The problem with that, it's not very welcoming.
I'm getting out of there as fast as I can.
I agree. Yeah. So I don't know why it is. I don't know the science behind it. But if your house is way low and it's cold outside, when you walk into that house, it's colder than it is outside.
Yes, it feels it for sure.
Something that you're like, this is freezing. And we want the buyer to stay
and look.
And as long as possible to bond with that house.
Yep.
So once again, if we're not asking to have the heat up the whole time you're away, but let's arrange for upon the showings that heat can come up, and then we can make it more comfortable for the buyer. We really do want to sell the house or something like that. And the other thing is when they're away, Michelle, is many times people can winterize the house.
Yep.
It's calling a plumber, winterizing it, making sure, because you don't want any broken pipes or things like that. And that's really, we're in a rural area. You have cabins and things like that that really makes sense, is to make sure you winterize
Absolutely.
it.
And if you've already moved out and you've moved to another state or even another town and you're no longer there, it's a good idea. It keeps your house safe and you don't have to worry about it. And then you don't have to keep your heat up so high so that you have
But
a
just
big
high
bill.
enough to be comfortable.
High enough to be comfortable so they want to stay in there and look at your
And
house.
turn it back down.
Turn it back down. And your realtor can help you.
Yeah. Make sure that you're talking to your realtor, or your realtor is talking about these things that we can mitigate just to make the experience for the buyer the best that we can do. But one of them is when they're away. The thing about winterizing is you have to have that unwinterized during an inspection. It's like a buyer could put an offer on a property, but when it comes to inspection time, we have to make sure we unwinterize it because they have to test.
They have to test the water and the plumbing and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely has to be done. And it will cost you a little bit of money, but it's definitely worth it to if you're going to be gone for a long time, to take care of your house while you're gone, and then have it re-winterized or unwinterized, and then have all the plumbing working again, all the water working again, so we can make sure that everything's working properly and there aren't any leaks prior to the closing of the sale.
No, I think that's a great idea. And you think, do we really have people that are gone that long? But we do have snowbirds.
We do.
You know, they will leave in November, come back in April or something like that. So it's something that we do have to think about. I do like your idea with the rug and the booties, but also one of the things that we need to be actually just understand and be cognitive of is that sometimes houses that are really closed up have a kind of a certain smell.
Yeah.
It's a winter smell.
For sure.
Whatever it is. Whatever that smell is.
We're not opening our windows anymore, letting the air come through and circulate. And if you're not there, then you're definitely not cooking, adding to that, or refreshing the air at all. So it gets a little stale in there.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a good word instead of winter smells. It gets a little
stale.
Yeah, it gets stale. Yeah. So
let's make it pretty.
Some of the things that you can do, or make sure that you correspond with your realtor, is, get the coffee beans into the shaker and have it set out so that, because we all know that coffee beans will absorb the smell versus put smell on smell.
Yeah.
So no candles. We don't want that kind of liability that goes on with that.
And a lot of those scents that those plug-ins and stuff, a lot of people are allergic to those. And so you have to be careful with that. So most mild
mild, yes.
that you can use. That's what we want to use.
No, I agree. And one other thing we just kind of chatted lightly about, and it's actually about animals. So, can it get cold outside? Yes.
Super cold.
Super cold. So, if the best scenario is take the animals with.
Yes, absolutely. Keep them warm and cozy.
In
happy,
the car,
safe,
wherever you are.
Yep. Not out in the snow.
Yeah.
Yep.
The next step to me is, if you can't, put them in a warm garage. It really many times is a turnoff to a buyer, any animals at all. In fact, it's one of the top things that people have as problems with homes. We have the smell, the animals, that type of thing. So if we can mitigate that in any way, especially like litter boxes and things like that, boom, 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 outside in the garage, please, or outside. But keeping in mind our furry friends, they get cold too. So we want to
take care of them.
Yeah, it's true. But here we are in winter, and before you know it's going to be spring, and we'll be talking about the things of spring that make everything exciting. But do check before you leave or in your home. Make sure your windows are shut all the way. Make sure they're latched. Many times we have air leaking out of that type of thing. Keep your heating bills down and just the things that we would always do just to minimize heat going out or, lost heat.
Yeah, for sure.
So we want to just say hey and thank you for listening to us on Real Talk for Real Estate. Michelle and I are here at the Real Estate Store, and we are here to either answer any of your questions or to be your realtor. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time on Real Talk for Real Estate.